5OUTDOORS is sponsored by Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
Hey, good to see everybody right here on 5 News Plus. Time for another edition of 5 Outdoors. Got my friend Amber from Wild Birds Unlimited back online with us here today. Now, Amber, we are in the middle of summer. I don't have to tell you it's hot outside, although that is my day job. It's hot. It's going to get hot for the next several days. There are some things that birders probably want to keep in mind in terms of keeping birds healthy and, of course, attracting to our backyards. What are some tips you could share with us?
Okay, so if you're outside birding, don't forget to put your sunscreen on, right? And take your water. So going about water, we're going to talk about how it's hot and everybody's thirsty. And so your birds are thirsty. All of wildlife is thirsty. The pollinators, the bees, everybody needs our help with water. And so go ahead and put a bird bath out there. You might actually see a deer or a squirrel come drink from your bird bath. Or you might, if you have a bird bath and you put in some rocks or something that the pollinators, the bees and the butterflies can land on, that will help them to also survive this heat wave that we've got coming up. So I would just say have a water source. If you have it moving water also attracts the birds. Actually, even a mist water really attracts the hummingbird. So that's really fun because the hummingbirds are out. So the hummingbirds are kind of missing for a little bit. It's because they were nesting. And so now they're finished nesting. And so the hummingbird activity has picked up quite a bit right now. So really provide a water source. Again, even if you live by Beaver Lake, or by a river, the birds aren't comfortable. The pollinators aren't comfortable to go down to such a big wide space. So you still need to provide that bird bath.
And we want to keep it clean, right? Especially this time of the year. What are some risks of not doing so?
Well, for one, you've got the algae buildup, and then you can have the mosquito larvae also laying in there. And that's just, when we feed the birds, we want to make sure we're giving them our best. With the hummingbirds, we want to make sure the ports are clean, that the nectar's fresh, it's not doesn't contain the mold. We want to make sure that water is fresh. We want to make sure the seed's not moldy. So just because we toss out things, we also have to be good citizen scientists and make sure that it's healthy and clean for everybody that's out there to enjoy it.
Now, when it comes to hummingbird feeders, why are we cleaning them so often as those temperatures get warmer?
Scott, what have you left outside as a drink for a couple of days and what's happened to that beverage? I mean, the heat is just turning everything into ferment, into mold. Yep. I just take off the lid and you don't really think about it because you clean your feeder, but you forget to turn that hummingbird feeder over and those little ports that they have. If you look at them, they're black. That's mold, right? So that really just does them a disservice. Those poor little guys have to eat every 10 minutes. And so we really want to do our best to provide them a safe food, which, by the way, should not be red because that red food dye is terrible for us. Imagine what it does to that little hummingbird body.
And you can just, truthfully, I'm sure there's safe ones you can buy. I'm sure you sell them, but you can also just make it at home too, right? And it's just so much better than any of that red dye.
It's exactly right. It's so easy. It's the 4 cups of sugar to the 1 cup of water. And then, no, not cups, by the way. Yes, cups. Sorry. But we also have something called Nectar Defender that you actually, because if you know about it, hummingbirds actually eat insects as well. So they don't just live off of sugar water. So it's nice to add a few extra nutrients to that hummingbird food to give them that extra boost.
Okay, good to know. I do have to fight ants getting up in my hummingbird feeder all the time. But I guess, hey, maybe if the hummingbird likes to eat an ant, maybe that's okay.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea. But people, they're kind of a pest. So there are safe bird ways to prevent ants, to prevent squirrels. So I would just like to advise people not to go ahead and take olive oil or whatever people do and rub it on your feeder to get rid of things. There are safe ways to help protect the birds. And you can get some of those supplies from us or look up online what are safe. Ants hate peppermint. So if you can also get peppermint oil, but there's also a lot of hummingbird feeders that have what's called an ant moat. You just put water in there. And actually sometimes you'll even see the birds drink from that because it's a water source right now.
That's awesome. Hey, so birds may be looking a little funny right now. They're not sick. What's going on with those?
No, they're not sick. They haven't been to the hairdresser, but their friends might be making fun of them whose feathers aren't coming in as quick as the others. So they're molting right now. So they finished molting. They finished nesting season, and they're getting ready for winter. So they've got to actually get their winter feathers now because in the fall, that's when they're going to bulk up for the winter. So they've got to kind of time out what they do. So right now they're going to put on their winter feathers. So that's the feathers are made out of 90% protein, and the colors come from the fat. So it's really good to have a protein and fat source in your yard. Also, the baby birds are coming to your feeders, and the baby birds look the same size as the adults. But what happens is they actually have their nest feathers in, which are just grown in really quickly to help them fledge the nest. And so they're going to molt as well. And the baby birds actually also are not finished growing. So while they're the same size, their bones are still going to finish growing. So they need calcium as well. So there's a lot of things we can do to help the birds by adding calcium, protein, and fat, water to your yard. And we think that nesting season's almost over, but what's a fun fact is it's just getting kicked off for the goldfinches. So the goldfinches are one of the only birds that don't feed their babies insects. They feed their babies seeds. So they actually have time their nesting to be able to have their babies come later in the summer when everything's gone to seed. So you'll see them, and they also will then, if you get the tiny seeds that are finch size, they'll be coming to your feeders to feed their babies.
That's helpful. That's helpful. So if folks are looking out in their backyard thinking, what's wrong with that cardinal?
Yeah,
He
you
looks
gotta
a little
always
funny.
look out. The birds are changed. It's interesting because if you sit and watch, your bird activity now is so different than it is in the fall and so different than it is in the winter. So it's fun to watch them through the whole process and see how the activity changes, because you're going to be getting ready for fall migration too, which you and I kicked it off with spring migration last time.
That's right.
So if spring's anything like fall, no, if fall's anything like spring, we're in for a good treat. So
I sure hope so. Spring was marvelous. I personally look forward to fall migration of the two. I love ducks. I love waterfowl, and I wait all summer throughout the heat and think they're coming back soon. And hopefully that's the case. Hey, I wanted to ask you, speaking of fall migration, what are some things we can be doing now to either set our backyards up for success, or to catch maybe some visitors that may be migrating through? Is that planting a certain type of plant? Is that maybe shifting it to a different type of bird seed or bird food?
yeah, that's a great question. Well, every time you can plant a native plant, you help. It's just even one plant makes a huge difference to both the birds and the pollinators. And so I would ask your local native plant grower, what are the rotating plants that you can get to add to your yard. Also, I would go ahead and say, like, clean your feeders. We like clean plates, so do the birds. And that really also cuts down on the diseases that are really passed during migration times because all of the birds are eating together. And then also when you offer a wide variety of fruit, then that fruit and seed that attracts then in a lot of different species. You're gonna have your juncos coming. They're so cute. They're ground feeders, so you can put out millet for them. Our cedar waxwings will be here. Now they're fruit eaters and they don't always come to your feeders, but they will always come for water. So doing things like that to get you set up will really help out.
I'm curious. I'm familiar with the birds I got in my backyard. What if I wanted to go somewhere different and that just to maybe see a different species? Any public places come to mind that may be a good hotspot? No pun intended. This summer.
There are so many great places around here, but can I just tell you, if you have a phone and if you download Merlin, the Merlin app is free. Scott, I'll tell you, even as you drive through your town, the birds at my house are different than the birds at my dentist's house. So I was parked in the parking lot and I was like, that's a different bird. I pulled up my phone and pulled up Merlin and it tells you.
Right.
So, but there are so many, Northwest Arkansas, how lucky are we that there's so many great trails, lakes around to go and just pull up Merlin and just see what's out there. It is amazing. Right now, the fly catchers are everywhere, and the scissor tail fly catchers. They're amazing, but they're not at my house. So I just love it. Just travel around Northwest Arkansas, stop, get out, pull up Merlin. It's amazing what you're going to see.
It really is a great app. Most mornings when I'm enjoying coffee on the back porch with the dogs, I've got that Merlin app pulled up, and every once in a while it'll detect something that I haven't had either in a while or at all, which is always a pretty exciting thing to see.
Yeah,
Amber,
actually, my daughter went. Sorry, sorry to cut you off, but my daughter went to the Appleseeds camp, which is right off
Okay.
Foley Park.
Yeah.
And Appleseeds Farm is open every Saturday 9 to 12, for volunteers to come in. I just sat out at her park, and for 30 minutes, I think I had 15 species around me, 5 of which I don't commonly see. So it's just a good chance, again, with the parks and different places you can get involved. Pull up Merlin while you're there.
The best part is it's free, and you think of free, oh, you're going to get what you pay for. Let me tell you, this is a really, really good app. A lot of good partners. Cornell, of course, leading in the bird space. Definitely check that out. Amber, if we wanted to come visit with you, you got a couple of locations. Where can we find you?
Yeah, so we're on Joyce Boulevard by Jason's Deli, and then 745 East Joyce Boulevard, and then up in Rogers, we're on 211 South Promenade over there, like about Five Guys. But we're there. We love, bring all your bird questions, bring your kids. If we get the kids started early birding, they're the future of our environment, so let's get those guys started. There's never a bad time to start birding.
Oh, that's truer words have never been spoken. Amber, we sure do appreciate you sharing all your knowledge with us here on 5 News Plus. We'll visit with Amber again, of course, more so this summer, but especially as we get a little bit closer to that much anticipated fall migration. You can visit with Amber there at her store, Wild Birds Unlimited. We'll see you back here for more 5 Outdoors every Saturday.